I know, we need to stop sniffling. I'm going to start with sniffling. Oh, hay fever's fucking got my fucking shit all runny. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Vincenzo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You're my next guest again because we're locked in because, you know, people are dying. Thoughts?
Well,
What?
I don't know what our order is called in London, but the quarantine's been extended another 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's fucking, whatever.
Anyway.
Saving lives, innit? We're saving lives by doing
Yeah,
this.
okay.
We're saving lives by talking shit on the sofa and, you know, being ill.
So,
Maybe I've got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So this morning,
Yeah.
we made banana pancakes.
Yeah, they were fucking amazing.
They were incredible.
We
And
post-fried the bananas.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Three
Caramelized.
stack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Barrel. What is our maple syrup?
I don't fucking know. It's like whiskey. Oh, it's in a whiskey barrel.
Yeah.
It's maple syrup from a whiskey barrel.
We don't own
It's
whiskey
unreal.
inside of a... I mean, we don't own maple syrup that lives in our fridge in a whiskey barrel, but it was like treated in it.
Yeah, you like make it in the whiskey barrel, so it gets the flavor of bourbon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just don't want people to visualize that we have a whiskey barrel filled with maple syrup in our apartment.
You know they're like cool props for the house. You know they're really cheap.
I
You
don't
can get them on
want one.
eBay for like
I know.
£10.
I was with you when you found out that information.
How fucking cool is that?
Okay,
You know
let's
one
move
of
on.
you know one of
I
my
just
you know
don't
one of my
care.
you know my favorite
Doesn't move on.
you know how it's made. That program
Yeah.
where they tell you how it's made. One of my favorite ones of all time is how you make a barrel. It's the most
I know, because they
boring.
like shape it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so boring, but so interesting.
How
and
it's
then
made is
they soak
so
it and bend it and then hold
childhood.
it. Oh, it's so good. I
It
love
would
that
always
program.
be on.
I fucking love how it's made.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the best show ever. What Breaking Bad? Pfft, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I want to see how small sweets are made.
It's so interesting now.
reason. We should watch that after this.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's on. What's it
should-
on? Do you think it's on Amazon? Okay, whatever. Sorry. You were saying? What? We should watch that high one day, yeah.
Okay, anyway. So
Camera's on.
I forgot.
She was doing the fucking... For anyone listening, she was doing the smoke a joint 420
Okay,
every day
moving
movements.
on,
That's
moving
so funny.
You have a topic today.
Yeah, well, it's not like a topic. It was just like we were talking about over our insane banana pancakes, which no one will be able to make because we're better than everyone. We were talking about Pop Smoke and like his death, and it sucked. But there's a lot of things about his documentary that I read this morning about how it's going to be centered around. Like how rappers are unfairly treated and discriminated by the police and all this sort of stuff, and it led us into like interesting conversation about the topic.
Well,
And like my stance on the documentary is that like apparently it's going to be centered around how unfairly they're all treated, and I have this opinion that's probably against the grain, which is, well, it shouldn't be against the grain, which is it should be like a celebration of him and his music and who he is, instead of centered around stuff like that, because I know that's a reality for a lot of these guys, and that's it's so bad, and especially in America, like especially like institutional racism. But it's just such a shame because like we started talking about like what might perpetuate that from their side, and it's just this thing of like this isn't now linking to him because obviously who knows what he said about it, but it's just a thing of like you should be able to make any rap you want, and I love the like party violent gang fucking drug party songs like everyone else, and like the content doesn't affect me. But we had this thing about like, and I've heard loads of rappers complain about it before, which is like, okay, so ignoring race, ignoring where you're from, if you rap about I'm from this block and if you come here I'm going to kill you, or I sell this many drugs every other sentence and I've been selling this many drugs, or if I didn't have rap I'd still be selling blah 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 whatever XYZ. It's like surely that is such a big factor for like police targeting people as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if you're walking around on a public platform that people are looking up to you.
Yeah.
Like, you have a following and you're, like, considered famous or a little bit famous, like, you know, and you're running around saying, I kill people, I sell drugs, I have guns, if you come near me, I'll kill you. Then you can't act surprised when the police are paying attention to you. Like, your example was, what's the guy who's in jail right now?
Oh, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I think he's out, isn't he? I think he just got out, the fucker. I don't know anyone who wanted him out of jail, except himself.
Probably. But he went to jail for racketeering, which is basically, like, a combination of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, racketeering's like, it's just being the mastermind behind, like,
don't think he's a mastermind.
Could never be a mastermind of anything. But
don't think he's not even a mastermind, but moving on.
Zero mind. But yeah, and like him is a perfect example of like, you talk shit and they're going to look into you.
Yeah.
And I don't think don't get me wrong, it's also a factor about like race and who he is. And again, I'm super sure that anyone from Brooklyn in the area that he was raised gets unfairly treated. And I'm not dismissing that. And it's terrible and that shouldn't happen. But I think that a lot of it, and what no one should do, is like help perpetuate that. It's like if you look at, if you hear like, you know, like if you're a police officer,
not only help perpetuate it, but also openly talking about it and then playing the victim.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, because it's reality works both ways. The reality is that you are part of that system and it's not your fault, and there's a lot of people stuck in that system. But then if your content perpetuates or romanticizes or it perpetuates or it plays up that profile that the police already think they have of you, then why would they not investigate you regardless of color or where you came from? Like, don't get me wrong, you were saying earlier that I think if especially mainly America now, that like if a black guy and a white girl got into the same crime, the black guy is going to get more time, which happens and is disgusting.
Talking about how racism has kind of evolved over time.
Yeah.
And I said that basically, like, I feel like racism of blatant racism of like, hey, you're black, so I don't like you, or I'm not going to be friends with you because you're black, has kind of going to like fizzle out a little bit with our generation and the generations below us.
Yeah. Because
that's kind of just like not the thing anymore. And I could be so wrong because I grew up in Los Angeles, which is so diverse, and now we live in London, which is so diverse, so I'm not really used to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the generations before us, like mainly our grandparents, who would be racist. Like, your grandma is a little something.
Yeah.
But, and like, my grandparents...
I'm sorry, this is fucking hilarious. She has... what's amazing is that I think her doctor's from India, and he's not even from Bangladesh, but she calls her doctor Mr. Bangladesh. And that's like a little bit funny. That's kind of funny because, you know, it's just her... It's her generation, so you've got to kind of like giggle at it, but at the same time, it's so bad that was just like the thing, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's like you have to laugh at it when it's that's like probably like the purest like innocent form of ignorance.
Yeah,
it's just like generational ignorance, which I think that we have as well now. And then, like I was telling you earlier, I have, I won't mention any names, but like, I know a guy where I'm from, which is Derby. And to be honest, like, Derby's very multicultural. And like, the school that I went to was, I think something crazy. Like, I think 40% of the students were from India or Asia. But it depends on where you're from. Because
like, as in her parents are Indian, but born in England, or like they...
I think they're first, second generation. I don't know what it would be. Yeah. But the thing is as well, when I was growing up...
But they're not born in...
Okay, so this is how many Asians... Because we called... There were so many people from like India or like... anywhere in Asia, but like we would specifically in Derby, for example, like coming to London... I got really confused because people call people of like Chinese, Korean, Japanese Asians.
Yeah.
And that's what it means in London. When you think of Asian in London, you don't say you don't think of someone who's Indian, even though they're all Asian, obviously.
Indian's probably the last thing I think of when you say Asian.
Yeah.
Personally.
And India's India, don't get me wrong. But
what does that even mean?
Because it's what?
India's India?
Because it's so big. It's a different story. Like India and China, I feel like are separate. Like that's why a lot of people are ignorant, because they call a lot of people who they think are Indians because it's so big. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so many Indian people and so many Chinese people. And it's the same thing with Koreans and China.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I think anyone with slanty eyes, people are like, oh, they're Chinese. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm Chinese, by the way.
Yeah.
So I can say it.
Oh, great. What can I say?
have
Cracker?
the slanty
Great.
eyes,
Amazing.
live with it.
Great. I can't say anything. I'd love to. I wish there was an offensive word for. We should create an offensive word for white people.
They deserve it.
Yeah, we deserve the worst one. I don't know why. I mean, our generation doesn't deserve the worst one, but as a race, we deserve the one. It's like, what's cracker? You can say that all day.
Yeah.
There's a fucking bit off Tom Segura's new special where he says that. He's like, what are you going to do? Call me a cracker? Great, that's hilarious. No, and also everyone can say cracker. There are racial slurs towards white people, but are they really racial slurs? Do you know what I mean? They're not really. Like crack. You could call me a cracker in a meeting. Like I could be in a meeting with all Asian black people and they could all be calling me a cracker and I'd be like, these guys are hilarious. And that's it. Like you wouldn't think of it like that. What was I saying before that?
Don't know.
Oh, fuck. I forgot my point. I knew this would happen. It's happened in the second episode, but I'm just rambling already.
It's fine.
For fuck's sake.
Anyway.
Oh, I was going to tell you about my friend from back home.
Yeah.
Well, not friend, a guy I know.
Who is a cracker.
Who is a cracker, yeah. Big cracker. And one of his best friends is black. But he is hugely racist. And he openly doesn't like black people.
So how could he be best friends?
And his family.
Wait, but how could he be best friends with someone who's black?
So his reasoning is I don't like black people, but name is okay.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like me. The first time I heard him say that, I had so many questions for him, and looking at him, I was like, my mind just blew up.
Yeah.
And I get it if you've met, especially don't get me wrong, Derby's not the most multicultural place like London. It's not really cosmopolitan, but there's a strong influence from all around the world in Derby. Yeah. It's not just Derbyites. Do you know what I mean? Derbasians. But it's really weird because he's also young, and it's really, really weird to be 19 and my parents are ahead in the race thing, which is for example, at the moment there are downtrodden races that we should be pushing up so they're on level playing fields, and especially again in America, with black people, and they need everyone needs to help. Yeah, for sure. Everyone needs to help push them up so they're back on a level playing field.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel in Derby, it's not like that. But my mum and dad are in the position where they have always said I don't give a fuck about anything of anyone. In the nicest way possible, don't care.
Well, they always say that it doesn't bother them unless someone's hurting someone, right?
Yeah, my mum's always had this mantra, which is that a great mantra, which is something that I've always lived off, which is just you can do anything you want as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Yeah.
Or, well, in this case, talking about the topic of racism, it would be discrimination.
Yeah.
But you can do what you want as long as you're not hurting anybody, and that's it. And beyond that, they don't care about who you are, where you come from, what color you are, whatever. And they don't care about anything like that because they just don't care.
Yeah.
It means nothing to them, and that's how it should be,
But then your grandma.
Yeah, my grandma's doing it. Product of generation. Yeah. It's a weird one because I get it, although it's wrong and it shouldn't be like that. I also understand it. If you've been born and raised like that, you just can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is once it gets to our generation, when we're your grandma's age. Yeah. Then I feel all of the younger generations are going to be so much more open-minded. Also, I think that social media, because we grew up in the turning point of, where TV was kind of picking
Yeah, we're so
up,
connected now. It's just
I
impossible
remember when
to,
Instagram first came out, like those kinds of things that we're all so connected now, but we also remember what it was like before all those things happened, and now it's kind of brought us all together, and you can never really like say that that we're all different.
Yeah,
I feel like, because everyone is just kind of the same now, and
everyone
we all
has Instagram, basically.
Yeah, everyone has Instagram, so we're all the same. Racism solved.
Yeah.
But I just mean, like, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to. You don't.
You're babbling a little bit, but I get you. I feel you. You're on the right path. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then like our grandparents, there's just like generational racism that.
I mean, there's loads of stuff. I mean, like, there's loads of, like, there's a lot of. It happens both ways. I mean, it's like when you hear about, like, like I've got loads of black friends, and when. Not racist, got loads of black mates. And, like, when you hear, like, older generations and, like, their parents speak, it's like the white man sometimes. And it's like, okay. I mean, I don't feel like that. And I don't feel like I'm that over anyone.
Yeah.
But I'm not part of that generation. So it affects every generation in different ways. And I wholeheartedly believe, fortunately, I think, our generation is going to be the first generation where there are barely any, like, I'm talking like real racists. Yeah. I'm not talking about people I'm not talking about people who are like ignorant and like make mistakes and say some dumb stuff.
Our generation's issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, we're well, you can tell because of the pandemic now, we're in a luxurious place that we can now, like, look at the things that, like, really matter.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, like, I think past the point of this snowflake generation of getting offended about everything, I think we'll push through onto the other side where, like, people just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, that's the other side of it.
I think the younger generations are going to be... I think the generations are going to slowly get even more offended by things.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, no, they will. There's always going to be those, like, small groups, but it's that thing of, like... This gets talked about all about on the internet, which is that, like, I think it's one of those things where, like, they appear and then it appears in the media and then it goes viral. But that's such a small group it's a small group with a loud voice. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not representative of everyone. I mean, look at fucking America. Like, who you go to LA, when we're in LA, who likes Donald Trump?
No one.
No one, like, whatever anyone thinks about him, you can have your own opinion, but, like, no one likes him. If you're in London, everyone hates him. Like, you'd think that how has this guy ever done it? But how much of a landslide he won? Yeah, exactly, Boris Johnson. How much of a landslide he won? Like, you forget that the majority of places are those, like, middle areas where that, like, and I can say this happily with whether I cause offence or not, is that, like, those smaller cities are completely behind. It's, like, as I said, Derby's actually out of the smaller, quote, smaller cities, like, isn't too bad. And I don't remember it ever being, like, that bad. But I'm sure that racism exists there way more than it does in London. Like, if someone was being, like, racist to someone openly in Derby, people would be, like, walking past and, like, maybe in disgust. But, like, I don't think there would be, like, people would act on it. Whereas, like, if you see these videos of, like, people being, like, these, like, crazy people being racist on the tube, getting, like, beaten up and stuff. Like, you can't do that here. I mean, we're so much more ahead in a fucking big city. It's so much nicer.
What I was saying about my grandparents, because my grandparents are Chinese, is that I just don't think that they're racist because, like, I just don't think... I could never see them in front of a big-ass black guy. Yeah. Like, put, like, 5 bouncers in front of them. Yeah. Like, I don't think they would be like... oh, you're lesser than I am. I just don't know how they would act.
Yeah, they're very conservative, aren't they?
And, I mean, they pretty much lived most of their lives in Hong Kong, which is a big city. But there's not, like... it's different the diversity like there is here. Yeah, it is. But I still just don't think that they're racist. I have this
I don't know what it is. I have this feeling about Asians, which is that, like, Asians use sort of, like, it's one of my favourite jokes, like, I can't be racist if I hate everyone. Yeah. So, like, and it's just one of those things. I think they're very, I want to say the word imperialist, but that's not what I mean. Like, they only care about Asians. Yeah. It's not that they hate specific groups. It's like they just stick to their own, which I don't think is, like, I don't think that's, like, ignorance or racism. I think it's just that they prefer to
Just stick to their own.
Yeah, because I don't. I think that like I don't. I think it's just. I'm trying to think of the word, but I don't know if you can call that racism.
It's not racism.
I think it's like.
I mean, if you look at, this is a really random example, but if you look at personal shoppers.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That was the example I was going to use.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So here in London, like you would know because this is your career path.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't get a lot of Chinese clients.
Yeah.
Because you're not Chinese.
They
rather
feel
shop with someone who is Chinese.
Yeah, they feel that, especially if they're Mandarin or like Cantonese speaking, then they would absolutely
Chinese, but
every single time.
There's no other Chinese language.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Especially Chinese people who speak Mandarin or Cantonese.
No, I said if they speak Mandarin or Cantonese.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't say if they were Chinese and they speak Mandarin.
I was talking about Chinese people.
Okay, cool. I'm saying whichever language they speak. I was trying to cover all bases, all right? I'm the white person in this situation. I've got to tread carefully, okay? I'm on thin ice as it is. I'm a white male who is straight in London, and I have to be very careful what I say.
The odds are
I'm
all in your
automatically on thin ice.
Yeah, true.
Because of white privilege, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm a half yellow woman, so I can kind of...
What?
I
you
can
want
just
to? You think you've got like a couple cards in the deck?
Just a few.
I have
not that many.
If all races, genders, like what your sexual preference is playing poker, and I'm on that table, I don't even have cards.
Yeah.
I'm sat at the table, but I don't have cards. But for some reason, I also have all the chips.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. Yeah. That's the perfect analogy. I have all the chips, none of the cards.
Yeah.
And very, very soon I'll have none of the chips. Well, hopefully all the chips will be shared.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was I saying? Personal shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I think that if you had a British person and they only spoke English and they went to Hong Kong and there was a team of personal shoppers and they got introduced to a few people equally and there wasn't an English guy there, I think that you would see that most races would, or countries would maybe lean towards their own.
Yeah.
But in my experience,
pack mentality,
of course, yeah. It's like pack mentality, but it's like just being comfortable with what you know, and it just makes you, like. But I think specifically with Asians, there is a next level of like I've seen Asian clients who won't shop with anyone because there's no one who speaks Mandarin or Cantonese. Mm-hmm. Like they won't do it at all.
But do they speak English?
Yes, sometimes, yeah. They're just not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean...
Whereas, like, I think if you had someone who could speak English and French and they go to France, I don't think they'd mind as much. I still think, absolutely, I think for everyone you would see a lean towards someone where you're from and who understands you. And it's the same with style. Like, I think if everyone spoke the same language and you saw a guy who was obviously dressed like you, then you're going to lean towards that person. But I think there is something about Asians that... they do it to the sort of like extreme. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I think I agree with you. And I don't really know what it is about it because I've never really looked into this topic. But one thing that is to know about this is if you're a white male who goes to China, and I have the most experience with Hong Kong. So let's say Hong Kong. And you go to a department store. You don't speak Chinese. Yeah. And you ask them for help, they will go out of their way to help you. Yeah, still, of course. Yeah, they're not gonna like steer you away. Yeah. Because you're not Chinese. I think that a lot of, just to defend my people, if you go into Harrods and there's no Chinese personal shopper available, I think that it's just a comfort of. I want to be able to shop with my people. I want to support.
Well, I mean, another factor might be because Chinese economy and business is booming so much that we've experienced that because they're here. But I mean, for example, okay, the best example is when I used to work for Harrods is that when I started, the dominant people when it came to sales were like Arabs at the beginning. Okay, anyone from the Middle East. Yeah. And then it transitioned to Asia. Yep. Now, I definitely saw a difference in how they treat and react the personal shoppers compared to like Arab and Asian. Like Arab personal shoppers like really relish the fact they had English personal shoppers, and it's not about the English people. It's how they wouldn't, for example, like a lot of Arab-speaking shoppers would still have Arab clients. Like I said, they'd lean towards that, but they wouldn't have there wouldn't be this sort of like awkwardness, or there wouldn't be like a real preference. Like if they get someone English, it doesn't matter. Whereas like there is, the Asians definitely had more of a preference when I felt that shift, even on the shop floor. Even when I used to work on the shop floor, I felt that sort of like change. Like they'd look at me and go, nah, and then like look for someone else.
Yeah.
You know, but like even Arabs who couldn't really speak very good English would still just jump to the closest person.
Yeah.
On the whole, again, there's outliers.
But I think that has a lot to do with Arab culture on how they're raised, kind of religion based, and being very like treat everyone equal. And
well, do you know what, you say that, but I feel like you could probably put them in the same category as like Asians, and you could put them in the same category as like Italians, where I feel like they've got very strong cultural and family values, which you would make, where you'd think they'd like stick to their own or whatever, like in comparison to me, who has, I don't give a fuck about like England. Like I love London because I like London of what it offers, but like I have no ties to anything. Like I don't care that I was born. I'm not going to support everything Derby because I was born in Derby. Like it's random chance. I don't give a fuck. Whereas like in the Middle East, where you're born, they're gonna be way more proud. It's like in America, like, you know, what's the fucking word I've been searching for this entire time? When you're born somewhere and you love it, what is it? What am I trying to fucking? Oh my god, it will come to me. It will come to me. I've forgotten the fucking word.
I feel like this is not, like, we need someone else here who is that person.
Yeah, when we get rich and famous, we can hire like a Jamie.
No,
like on Joe
I'm
Rogan.
just saying, like, we need someone who is
way
like,
smarter than us.
No, stop it. Just like gung ho wherever they're from, because I'm not really like that either. Like I appreciate my heritage out of like the way that I was raised and the happy memories associated.
It's on the tip of my tongue. It's like, okay, when an American's really American, what are they? They're like super proud of being fucking imperialist and capitalist keep coming in my head. And I've forgotten the fucking word, man. Oh my god, this is pissing me off. I hate it when this happens. This happens to me all the fucking time. What is it that when like you have a strong bond to where you're born? What's it fucking called? I'm literally gonna...
Patriotism?
That's it. Patriotic. Like, I am so far from patriotic. Like, I don't give a fuck. I go with what is, like, interesting to me. And, like, I just because I was born in Derby doesn't mean anything. Like, you have to look at it objectively. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want to know a funny patriotic story?
Go for it.
I don't know if it's that funny. We have a thing between Vincenzo and I's relationship where we love to tell each other random stories from our past, but I'm really bad at storytelling.
Yeah,
I'll be like, oh my god,
you talk for 15 minutes, and then like the story won't have an end, and like it just wasn't funny, and I'm like, okay, I love you, but
and like I'm halfway through the story, but it's like I'm 15 minutes in, so I might as well keep going, but I know it's not good. So anyway,
I just power through.
So when I was younger, I loved Brandy Melville. And there was a Brandy Melville sweater that I really wanted, and it had an American flag on it.
Yeah.
And for background, my mom, I'm first generation American.
Yeah.
On both sides, my like green card, fresh off the boat kind of parents.
Yeah.
My mom's Chinese, dad's Irish, you know, all that business. So I went home one day asking my mom for this American flag Brandy Melville sweater that was probably like $45. And my mom was like, if you think I'm going to give a company $45 for a fucking American flag, you are sorely mistaken. And I begged her, because she was like, she's not, like, we're just the least American family you could ever possibly find.
Yeah. And
anyway, got the sweater, but she was so mad that I had it, because she was like, we're not Americans, we're not like patriotic, like I do not own anything that's American other than that one sweater which I donated like years ago.
Well, I mean, there's a massive stigma here that like if someone has like, if you roll past someone's house and they have like not a UK flag but an England flag hanging out their window, it's like they're probably racist.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you know, like the Red Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you've got that, potentially racist. That's what I always think. I don't know why, but I think that is a little stigma around it. But like I've just never been patriotic towards anything.
Yeah.
I go with what I enjoy and what I like. Like it's like like there's a stigma around LA, but I go there for me and
What's the stigma?
You know the reason why you don't like it. You know the stigma, like everything about it, all the fucking things. You know. What's wrong? Is the camera off?
Yeah, the camera turned off.
Oh, okay. We ran out of battery.
I don't know when it turned off.
Oh, that's okay. Just sit down. We'll just do a vocal one. You feel me? We don't have to film all the... People want to hear your luxurious voice. They don't want to just fucking stare at your face, you know? You feel me?
What if I want people to stare at
Is it back on or have you...
Yeah, put it back on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. People? Party people?
Party people? But yeah.
What's the stigma around LA?
Oh, you know what it is. It's the reason you don't like it. You've got a lot of reasons why you don't like LA.
I know, but like
you still love being
I lived
homestar.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
but
the reasons that
those stigmas and stereotypes exist around the world, you know.
But I feel like LA is so glamorized that people don't actually know like the issues with it. Because every time I tell people like, sorry, quick burp. Every time I tell people like, oh, where are you from? I'm from LA. They're like, first response is, oh my god, why are you here? The weather's amazing there. I'm like, yeah. Let me just live there because the weather's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like you can only be born in Hawaii and then live there for the rest of your life because that is like...
No, I everywhere, anyone who is born anywhere is going to have a little bit of hatred towards the place that they live. Yeah, even people that I know who are born and raised in Hawaii, they don't like it. Yeah,
people who are like born and raised in Derby and they're just gonna like live there in their entire lives and die there is very sad to me.
But so anyway, the stigma around LA, if you've been to LA and you've lived in LA, is that everything that you see in the media is just a lie.
Yeah.
It's like the most fake city that exists, like, and it's so toxic. Everything is weird.
Yeah.
Like growing up there, I thought that so many things that I experienced were completely normal.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
Growing up in the OC.
Yeah.
Fuck, I would have loved that. I'd be such a douchebag if I was born in America. I would be patriotic. I'd be a Chad. I'd be a real Chad. You know what I mean? Chad Borrelli.
No.
Yeah, I'd be a proper Chad.
You're not a Chad. You don't look like a Chad.
I would be a Chad, though. I'd also be like 6'1" and have like hair. You know what I mean? Yeah, right? I'd be fucking hot as fuck if I was born in America. Chad Borrelli.
Why would you be such a different person?
I don't know. We have this conversation all the time. Like, Americans are built differently. Your, like, 16-year-olds are like our fucking 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Speaking of...
What?
The OC.
Oh, I thought you were speaking of 16-year-olds. What?
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're allowed to do that here. I have something to read you.
Oh, okay.
So, today I was doing my daily scroll on the gram.
Yeah.
Saw something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A news article.
Yeah.
Let me read you the title. Demonstrators protest stay-at-home order in Huntington Beach.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. How stupid are some people?
So,
do you know what I mean?
There was a protest against the isolation.
Yep.
So, a gathering.
Yep.
And it basically sparked because I think the beaches were being shut down in Huntington.
Yeah.
Which I thought all of the beaches in Orange County were shut down. Because in Laguna, they've been shut down for, like, weeks.
My latest thing is watching surfing videos. And the ones that have just come out recently, they all have disclaimers like, oh, this was filmed before COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. But one of them said that apparently the beaches and oceans open for exercise. But not...
gatherings.
But like nothing else.
Well, because, so what happened was, this is according to my parents, so this isn't like, news.
Yeah.
But basically...
not legit sources.
So what my dad said is that there was one weekend where it was really hot out.
Yeah.
And there were loads of people on the beaches in Laguna. Makes sense. And so then they shut down the beach like the next day. So what they did was they closed all of the parking down.
Yeah. So
if you want to go to the beach, you can't park anywhere.
Yeah.
So you can't like leave your car. So
you've actually got to like go there properly for something.
Yeah, so, like, you can go to the beach, but they're trying to make it really hard on people.
Yeah.
So if you really want to go to the beach, then you have to figure out somewhere to park your car mildly illegally. So that, like, it prevents gathering. So what my parents have been doing is they've been parking illegally to go on their, like, daily walks.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, they need out of the house.
Just
like,
incriminate them on public radio.
Sorry,
What
Mom and Dad.
Are we public radio?
So let me read
definitely
you
not.
just a couple quotes from this news article.
Okay, please.
They carried signs with messages that included "Liberate Huntington Beach."
Okay. Liberate? That's real white. I bet, are they all white?
Yeah,
they have to be all white
Huntington's
people.
pretty white.
They've got to be all white people.
Huntington's where Matt lives.
Liberate.
You know that's the whitest community in... Yeah. Okay, open Cali now.
Oh, God.
And, ready for it?
Yeah.
Don't get ready.
Go.
COVID-19 is a lie.
Okay.
The latter, so the COVID-19 is a lie, was held by a man wearing a hazmat-style suit, mask, goggles, and gloves.
Okay. I mean, these are borderline 5G believers that think that they're killing, like, animals and
Pandemics
stuff.
do not cancel our constitutional rights. That was another one.
Okay.
One more. Many signs were endorsing Donald Trump visible. So there were lots of Trump supporters. So obviously people without brains. Along with American flags. And tooting a "Live Free or Die" sign, and an American flag, 62-year-old Paula Doyle, Paula, we're calling you out here, a Costa Mesa resident, told Los Angeles Times she was sick of social distancing. She's sick of it.
Oh, great. Cool. Let's kill some people then. Perfect.
Paula?
For you, Paula. Fucking Paula. Jesus Christ. She may as well be called Carol Baskin.
Okay. So, yeah. Speaking of white privilege, is that article...
Going heavy on the race this episode.
Oh, another funny story.
Okay, go.
I know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like him at all.
Okay.
He is my parents' age.
Okay.
I will not say if they're friends with him or not.
You're not going to put him on blast?
No, I literally hate him.
Okay.
My whole family hates him.
Okay.
Anyway, he came to our house one time, had dinner with us. This was pre-hating him. But I hated him a little bit.
Yeah. You just know.
But he was still, like, a little bit invited.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know when you meet someone, you're like,
fuck
don't
you.
like you.
Yeah.
He was one of those. So anyway, he came into our house and he explained to me that white privilege isn't real.
Okay.
And a bunch of other bullshit.
Yeah.
And he said that in our house with my Chinese mother there.
Yeah.
Us, me and Neil, who are half Chinese little babies, pulled up. Did I mention he's white?
Oh, shock.
Oldish man, middle-aged, in his Tesla.
Yeah.
He has a very successful company talking about how white privilege isn't real. And, like, you are the, like, poster child.
For white privilege, yeah. I mean, it depends on how he fucking got set up. But anyway, carry on.
He's a
definitely
terrible human. I could do a whole podcast on the shitty things he said.
Let's go for it.
Like, I actually think
reel him
he's
off.
one of the worst people I've ever met.
He sounds terrible.
I hate him.
Yeah.
He got in a huge fight with my mom because he brought up abortion.
Okay.
Same dinner.
Yeah, great. He definitely knows dinner table topics to pick.
And he was...
Who loves abortion here? I don't.
And he was basically talking about how he's pro-life.
Okay, that's not a surprise.
Abortion should be illegal.
Yep.
And it is absolutely not the woman's choice.
Vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Absolutely not the woman's choice.
Great. Yeah. Oh, that was another topic we went deep into the other day on a walk. That was...
We've been going on fat walks, people.
Yeah, we're going on the fattest walks ever. We've been walking for like 5 miles and just talking about life.
Don't exaggerate. It's been like 3 to 4.
Oh, Jesus, sorry.
Maybe 4.5.
Okay.
If we want to round, it's 5. But are we rounding?
Yeah, we've been talking about some deep shit. It's
weird.
Why is it when you go on a walk, you roll into like the deepest conversations? I mean, it can either be about like shit, literal shit, like pooping, or it can be about like, cool, let's solve racism. You know what I mean?
One of our favorite topics.
Excuse me.
Oh God. Jesus Christ, we have things coming out of us. One of our favorite topics lately has been what would we do if we won 56 million pounds?
Oh my god, that's so good. That's my favourite.
We've been having
conversation.
so much fun talking about
Imagine
it.
wanting to work for money, do you know what I mean? Just fucking win it, do you know what I mean? Just win the lottery. Just do
Vincenzo has this weird thing that he just like strongly believes that he is gonna win the lottery and never have to work again, and it kind of worries me because I'm worried that he is.
Does it worry you because you believe it a little bit?
No, I'm worried.
I'm very lucky. A lot of like, you know, I think my white privilege
are.
could power me through that lottery win. Do you know what I mean?
Well, speaking of luck, one time we flew somewhere, don't know where, not being like shady, but I literally have no idea where we were going.
Okay.
And I'm talking about you, by the way. I think we're on like EasyJet or Ryanair, like one of the weird airlines. And so Vincenzo left his phone on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
He left it on the seat. And basically we were off the plane and we had just gotten our bags and he realizes that he doesn't have his phone.
Yeah.
And the reason I mentioned EasyJet or Ryanair is because like I just don't think you'll ever get it back. Like, I'm sorry, but they would charge. If you're gonna they would probably charge you to give your stuff back to you.
If there's some fuckery about some like lost or stolen goods, it's definitely gonna be on one of those. Yeah.
So anyway, he realizes that he's lost his phone, and so we go to the not stolen. We go to the help desk.
It was when we
got our bags.
Yeah, we landed home. We
must have landed back into London.
Yeah.
So
It was that was Mallorca.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, was it Sardinia? Sardinia.
I really don't think it matters.
Wait, have we been to Sardinia?
Yeah.
We have been to Sardinia. Okay, cool. I have no idea.
So anyway, long story short, short story long.
Genius.
We go to the help desk to say, hey, he lost his phone because he's stupid. And someone walks up
saying it, yeah.
As he's saying it with his phone in his hand.
Yeah, someone's like hand goes over my shoulder to the person in front of me that I'm talking to, and they've said like, oh no, like, hey, I've lost my phone. It's like, oh, we've not had any phones in. And as I'm saying it, someone's fucking hand comes over my shoulder and just puts it on the table. Cool, this was on the plane. It's like, oh, that's mine. She's like, can you unlock it for me? Yeah, cool. Cheers. All right, see you in a bit.
Unreal.
Yeah, I do get lucky for some little things.
I am the unluckiest person in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm also like slightly irresponsible.
In the grand scheme of things, you're pretty lucky.
Do you think?
Yeah. Sorry, you were born in Orange County to a great family. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but...
What have you ever had to worry about in your life? What thickness of duvet you have on your bed? And I know that worries you. You give a fuck a lot about thread count.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you don't care about thread count, you don't care about your
life.
Again,
I'm all for the fucking Dave Chappelle, like, everyone has problems, and, like, you shouldn't compare tragedies and you shouldn't compare problems because everything's relative.
Yeah.
But in this case, you probably should have a little bit of, like...
Yeah.
Grandiose thought.
Well, I was thinking about when I was younger and I had an iPad. It wasn't mine, but it was one of my parents'. Parents'.
Yep.
Maybe I didn't have an iPad. I don't know if iPads existed.
The fact that you're talking about when you were a kid, I had an iPad.
I don't think it was
starting
mine.
Off.
I never really actually had an iPad.
You don't have problems.
No. It was an iPod. It was a thick ass.
Yeah.
Do you remember the really thick ones? They were silver.
The ones I uncovered the other day.
Yeah. Where it has like the dial. Anyway, it was a big ass thick. I can see it in my head.
Yeah.
And it had all my favorite songs on it. Hilary Duff preloaded, Hannah Montana, the jams. And I had a Nintendo DS. It was light pink special edition with Nintendo dogs in it.
Nice. That was a big game.
Big game. Anyway, left it on a flight.
Genius.
Left my iPod and my Nintendo DS.
Double genius.
On a flight. And I still remember it was Aer Lingus. And I was flying from London to Ireland. And I'd never been so upset in my life. Yeah. And I couldn't get it back. They wouldn't give it back to me.
I had...
So that's my bad luck.
One of the coolest like Nintendo handheld consoles I had was like... I had two ones that I loved the most. One, actually, it's kind of three. I had the Game Boy Advance in white. That was banging. I got the Game Boy SP, which was like the little square one that flipped. But I had the Zelda version, so I had the gold Zelda version.
Like,
that was
they were
insane.
like this big, right?
Yeah, they're like little
squares. I don't remember the
squares.
names of things. I just know what they look like.
It's called an SP.
Okay.
I remember.
Neil has a red one.
And then I had one of my favorite ones was when they brought out the Nintendo DS Lite.
Yep.
And they did it in like white and black, and they had like the smooth bezeled edges. They had the black one.
I had that
with the fucking stylus. That was sick.
And mine was pink.
I don't know where mine's got. I think I sold it. Pissed off. Don't know why I did that.
Like one of my fondest memories of childhood was everyone had a Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
And when we would go on school field trips, we would all sit in the bus and we'd have like chat rooms.
Yes.
That was the first chat room ever to exist, but it was like chat rooms via like proximity. Yeah. So you had to be like sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
And you would like draw things and stuff, and people would chat with each other.
Yeah.
But you had to be next to each other. It wasn't over Wi-Fi.
I remember how excited I used to get in like secondary school to just go on like MSN when I got home.
I was an AOL girl.
Ugh. AOL.
Or AIM.
Was that, what the fuck is AIM?
It was AOL's Messenger. AIM.
Oh, okay. Gross. Yeah, it's all about MSN. MSN for my school.
And there were statuses, and people would post like dramatic song lyrics in their...
I just remember how obsessed I used to get, and how all of us used to get obsessed over like Facebook posts when they first came out.
Yes.
We did Facebook. Like how many likes people got. Do you know what I mean?
Do you remember the like this if you want like a truth or something like that?
Yeah, there's just loads of shit. Like, it's just one of those things where like you put up a funny status, and like if someone got like 160 likes, everyone would be talking about it the next day.
And if someone's profile picture got a bunch of likes, then everyone would be like, "Oh my god!" She's
and there was
the
just
coolest
those like
person ever.
like one or two like really hot people that always got like crazy likes, and it's like, how have you done this? Like, wild.
What a weird time.
And you just think that like everyone's comment was like literal. So if there's like some girl drooling over a boy, you'd be like, wow, they must be like banging or dating or something. I don't know, but it's not at all. Now I fire off comments and likes like it's fucking nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
If I like your shit, I really potentially don't. If I share it, then I definitely like it. But
one of the funny things that I've talked about with
actually,
my
wait,
friends...
that's not true. I'm pretty good at that now. I only comment on people's shit that I actually like. I'm very good. I'm in the past year or two, I've got very good at like really liking only what I like. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm all for like, I've said this before. Like I'm all for like clout, because like I think that, don't get me wrong, like clout on the whole of what we all think it is bad, but like clout's no different to like trying to be popular in the office.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same shit. Like adults have clout battles in the office all the time in like real life, but like it's that's just ego, and it just depends on how you control it and how you do it. Like if you share it because you enjoy it and you want to share it with people and you like other people sharing, that's great.
Yeah.
But like I've made relationships in my life to boost me into different positions and make sure I can meet the people that I really want to meet, you know?
I mean, like,
I want to meet interesting people that I like, and don't get me wrong, like if we don't get on personally, then fuck them, but I want to get into positions where I can meet all the fucking awesome people that create and do all the awesome shit in the world.
Yeah, but honestly, like, where is the line drawn between clout chasing and networking? Because, like, for example, we were talking about this the other day, too. We've been having a lot of conversations.
Bro, we're fucking stuck inside, and I have to speak to you. Ugh.
We were talking about the importance of knowing people.
Yeah.
And so many people that, ironically, we know have jobs off of just knowing people and connecting people. And you have a couple deals with some brands where you connect them with other people. But what I was saying is you only get to that position from clout chasing or networking. So, well, yeah,
I think it's networking, intention. Yeah. I think
that
the line is just massive. It's a grey area. That's what I'm saying.
Is like, where is the line?
Well, not to hopefully a future guest, and not to touch on a topic that we're probably going to go way more in depth to. But speaking to Dylan, and like it's exactly what we said of like everyone commenting on everything and everyone liking everything. And like we're gonna hopefully get a very exciting couple of guests on in future podcasts when we can actually speak to people again, and we'll definitely touch on this topic more. But just to give a brief overview of it is like, and I'm very much on his side because we were discussing this, which is that like I hate the fact that everyone likes everything.
Yeah,
that's lying. Like if you're positive towards everything for the sake of being positive, you're lying.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can like everything.
I think that stems from the culture of being so scared to step on each other's toes.
Yeah.
Which I have a major issue with.
I think it's another...
I have that
issue. We're so
issue,
connected
you don't.
as well. Another thing is we're so connected. Like, because of social media, you can get really close to cool and influential people.
Yeah.
And I think
and you also feel
having
like
that
you
hierarchy,
know people
having
that
that
you don't know.
Exactly.
Which is a weird thing that we're in.
That hierarchy existing of like people being more influential than others, I think is always going to exist, and I don't think it's implemented by anyone.
Yeah.
And I agree with it existing, but like it's just one of those things where like it's why this is called Enzo Hates Everything, and it's why I'm so particular with everything, and like I just refuse to believe that like if all your mates decided to become rappers, they're not all going to be good rappers.
Yeah.
And majority of all their songs are going to be shit.
Yeah.
Now, you can be constructively constructively criticize. You can say, "Hey, I'm not a fan of this one," or maybe switch one up, or whatever. This isn't your strongest one.
Yeah.
Everyone should keep going.
Yeah.
Whatever you like doing, to overarch this with the main message with "fuck me," like do what you want.
Passionate about it,
do it.
Ride with it.
But like you have to understand that like Dylan said the best thing. I'm gonna touch. We're gonna go way more in depth than this, but like like the biggest designers in the world, or the biggest brands in the world, some of their shows are gonna be shit.
Yep.
That's it. Chanel's gonna have a bad show.
Yeah.
Or when you compare them to other shows, one's not gonna be as good, and you don't have to like it because
and it's also
that.
taste. Like,
yeah, like
one thing that I like, you probably don't like. And we have this conversation all the time when we're shopping, is I'll pick out something. I have a lot more basic taste than you do. I'll pick out something and you'll be like, it's a little basic, but I'll like it. And you'll pick out something that's, I think, a little bit ridiculous. But you'll like it. So it's not about pleasing everyone. It's about pleasing yourself, and then the rest who will follow.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and like I'm also not trying to say, and again we've been talking about this a lot, and I think this is my age and being a angry young man, which is like I'm very cynical, and I know I should be less cynical.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it comes with age as well, and I'm not saying you have to be like 60 years old or like when I say comes with age, I mean like literally like 20s, like you start realizing that like it's one of those things where like if you don't, I hate the whole thing of like, oh, if you don't like it, don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying you should go out and attack people. I'm not saying you should go onto someone's page and write something for the sake of saying this is shit.
Yep.
But like, openly voicing your opinion of I don't like that is fine for me. And that's it. Too. And like, I think anyone who is creative, if you put something out there, prepare to be criticized.
Yeah.
Like, and if no one loves it, that's fine because you know what to do better next time. It's like, again, like music's such a great example. Like, it's like when people first start off, push them to do better and keep going. But like, if they ask you what you think of stuff, like tell them that like, yeah, that's not strong.
I mean, I think that
you need to learn more about, I don't know, fucking mixing or production value or whatever. Like, music's a good analogy, but it's everything. Like, to talk about it on fashion, it's like, hey man, like you're gonna just because you love it doesn't mean it's great.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you got to be
course.
objective about it,
But
if you want to be the best you can be at what you love.
I think a lot of this stems from a fear of failure, which in every business sense, everyone who is successful will tell you that the one thing that has stopped them in the past is a fear of failure.
For sure.
And that's the one thing that really like takes a hold of people from, creating what they want to create. And one thing that I love, which I'm trying to instill into my own life because I have my own fears of failure, is this woman. Her name's Sarah Blakely.
Yeah.
You hear me talk about
you
her
love her
every
a
day.
lot. She loves you.
She created Spanx.
She's definitely listening.
I love her so much. Anyway, growing up, her dad would go to her every single day at dinner time and be like, what did you fail at today?
Yeah.
And she would have to talk about something that she failed at. So she would come home and be like, I tried out for the volleyball team and I did absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, good job.
Yeah.
To build her thick skin. And something that my mom did for me when I was younger is you don't have regrets in life if you learn from them. So if you do something wrong and you mess up, if you can take away like something that you've learned from it, then it's a positive.
Yeah.
Automatically. But I think that a lot of people's fear of failure and judgment and all of those fears is what stops people from creating amazing things and also giving their opinions on things, because they don't want to be disliked. They don't want to be judged for saying that. They don't like those shoes, or they don't like that. And I think that's something that the two of us are really good at.
Another thing is like great people at anything of like sports or fashion or whatever. They will tell you about one person who they look up to, who is the first person with honest with them, who would say you need to do this better or you need to do that. It's like that's criticism.
I love criticism.
You can't be great unless you have it.
I love constructive criticism so much, and a lot of times my first reaction is a little bit like taken back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. I was looking for something positive, like positive reinforcement. But constructive criticism takes you so much farther than a positive reinforcement of, wow, you're doing amazing.
I also hate the other way, which is what probably a lot of people think of me, which is that, like, hate everything for the sake of hating it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's as bad, if not worse.
I think that to define you is that, and me too, I mean, we get along for a reason, is that we both have very specific tastes, and we are both very particular in what we like and what we don't like. I don't think that makes you a hater. I'm
super discerning. I hate that word as well. Like, I don't mind being a hater. I'll be protecting my colony of haters for, cameras on, for the best. You have no idea at all. Okay. I think that hate, when people call someone a hater because they don't like something, it's like, if you don't like me, you're a hater. No.
I think there's a lot of things around being a hater.
I hate Drake's first old music. Like, I've never been a fan of early Drake, and that's everyone's favorite Drake. Same with Kanye. I like later Kanye than I do earlier Kanye. Okay. Now, just because that is the case doesn't make Drake a bad person. That doesn't mean that if we met we wouldn't get along. That doesn't mean anything. Like, he should or shouldn't care, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, he can take that on board or not, but that shouldn't affect how he feels about me or him or anything. It doesn't matter. It's like, I love talking about it. It's that weird dance of like preference and taste, because taste, like, it's weird because so there's so many times, and I love saying it, and I've still not figured it out, which is that music, art, fashion, all subjective, but taste definitely exists. So if taste exists, there must be some stuff that's better than others.
You also can't buy taste.
I mean, you can if you've got the right person behind you, like me.
But then, like, Drake's house.
Oh, don't get me. We should do an extra episode on Drake's house. Someone who knows Drake, get him on, and we want to talk to him about his house.
If you're listening to this right now, go on Google and Google Drake's new house.
See, that's a perfect segue, because for the first time, one of the first times ever properly, Joe Rogan was talking with Tom Segura, one of his latest guests, like one of his like close comedian mates, and they're so well rounded. I love Joe and like all what they do, but like they said that like, oh, people are just like, you see Justin Bieber's new house and then like Drake's new house, and people are like shitting on it and stuff.
Justin Bieber's new house.
Oh, it's his old house or his new one. It looks like an office building. It's really like, it's grim. People have been calling it, like, saying it looks like a washing machine and stuff like that. It's really funny, but like they shit on stuff and they're comedians and it's for fun, and like it's just a joke.
Yeah.
But then, like, when they see people in comments saying it, they're like, oh, like, these guys just like, let's see your house. Oh, I think it was Brendan Schaub. And it was like, oh, let's see your house, bitch. Like, taking the piss out of this guy's house. Like, he's this and this. And it's like, hang on a minute. Like, you do that all the time. Why can't I take the piss out of it on the comments? Like, it's funny. And, like, it's personal taste. Like, it's just, if you don't agree with the comment, you should just ignore it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you shouldn't make the comment or shouldn't have the opinion.
But then some, like, it's such a fine line, because some comments just do not need to be said.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
don't get me wrong, but they were going ham on, like, saying like, oh, I actually like the house. I'm like, how can you, like, it looks sterile. It looks like a hospital building.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, with his old or his new house, it looks like a hospital building. It looks like an office building. It's so weird. I'm sure the inside's like amazing, but it's like Drake's place. 3,200 feet square feet in the bedroom. That's so ridiculous. His house looks like the combination of a Berlin sex club,
Yep.
a Tom Ford store,
Yep.
and a like
Hotel.
hotel slash like bar.
Yeah.
It's really weird. That's not like. I mean, one thing I like about him, he's like, you know, I'm in a fortunate position. We like to party. We drink a lot all the time, and that's what we like doing because we can.
His judgment.
I think that's cool. But yeah, how you can do that all the time, and I get it in his position. That's his energy. But then to go home and feel like you're in a fucking boutique or a bar or a strip club with purple lighting in his fucking swimming pool room. That's just horrible.
There's no...
I have to say, though, his basketball court's sick. He's
Really?
got a massive indoor basketball court. That's cool.
But, like, in all of the photos of his house, I did not see, like, any natural lighting.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm sure he's got fatty windows.
Yeah, but, like, all the photos are showcasing the disgusting, like, club lighting.
Mm.
And they didn't have, like, any big windows. And I'm such a, like, lighting person, like, a natural lighting person. Like, honestly, I might be judging too quickly, but how can you walk into a house and feel, like, happiness or relief when it's so, like, dark and you're in a club? Like, that's what all the photos look like. How could you, like, how do you feel any relief?
Yeah, I get you.
Like, I walk into a house that has beautiful lighting, big windows, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Our apartment, which is a third of the size of his bedroom,
Yep.
feels way more homely than I'm sure that house does.
That house is impossible to feel homely because it's 50,000 square feet.
I'm also I'm someone who would have like I like Kanye and Kim's. I know you don't think it's homely enough, but I'm someone who I'm like into art, like real art houses and like anything that's just like maybe like a little bit like too arty. It like almost looks like a gallery, but you can still warm tones make that feel homely. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that if you compare Kanye and Drake's house, I'd much prefer to live in Kanye's house than Drake's house.
Oh, of course.
Like 800,000%.
Kanye and Kim's house has really grown on me. When I first saw it, I didn't like it at all. And I'm not obsessed because I love personal touches.
Yeah.
And you are a little bit more minimal than I am.
Yeah.
But I love hanging up photos that I've taken on our travels in our apartment. I love photos of us and
shit with painted and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I like personal touches in space because it shows that like someone lives there.
Yeah, I get you.
And to me, like I get joy from looking at a photo of us. You know, we have a cute little photo of us kissing in Catalina, and that looking at that photo takes me back to when we were kissing in Catalina. Their whole house is so white and so sterile.
See, I like that because I see like interiors and architecture and like your house as like art and a project. So, for example, like I see that as I want to make that as like perfect as possible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I want that to be the best it can be. I want that to be like a proper art form. If I had their money, if we won £56 million, I would love to fucking just make a house that people would like fucking buy as an art piece.
I don't want a house that's an art piece to not live in. I want our dream home to be every single piece of furniture is beautiful to look at, but once you sit in it, it soaks you up. It's so comfortable. I want everything to be comfortable but also beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between having something that is beautiful to look at but also be comfortable and homely. And I think that some rooms in their house are perfectly fine to be sterile, like hallways and walkways and stuff, but like the living room to have white like couches and like what? They have the money. They have the money to have 4 children to dump food on it every single day and buy a new couch every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
do you know what? To give them a little bit of like, to defend them a little bit, I'd like to see that house active as opposed to like set up for Architectural Digest. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting. But I'm sure they've got toys in the cupboards and shit, and then it looks like a home when there's just shit everywhere.
No, they have. I saw a video because Kim basically posted like, to everyone who says that my house isn't a home, this is my kids' playroom, and they have a huge, probably like the size of our apartment, square room, a rectangle room, and it's just the kids' toys everywhere.
Yeah.
And like North's room is like hot pink.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, which I like, but then still the common area is just sterile. One of their kitchens is all metal.
That's
like,
fucking sick.
And I just don't like that.
No, that's cool. I've forgotten the architect that he's worked with.
Volvort.
That's it. He's a fucking G.
Their bathroom is amazing,
yeah,
though.
Sick.
I love the architecture and the unique touches in the house. But like, to me, a living room needs to have a big, comfortable couch and, you know, a little fireplace and a TV and make it like a home. Like, it doesn't look like anyone lives there.
Yeah, I get you.
Until you go upstairs and see a hot pink children's room.
Yeah, I feel you.
But it's like,
yeah,
not for me.
I get you.
But I'd still pick it over Drake.
Yeah, for sure. Should we wrap this shit up? I want to play my new fucking guitar, mate.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks for the conversation. I'm going to go and escape to another room now and not speak to you for the rest of the day.
Sounds good. All right. Bye.
All right. Love you.